Well, it is a big day for Indian democracy. The world's largest democracy just got a new house. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated a new parliament building in the national capital, New Delhi. The Prime Minister and Lok Sabha Speaker attended the traditional puja and Havan ceremonies. Prime Minister Modi then walked to the Lok Sabha, or the lower house of the people, and installed the historic Sengol near the Speaker's chair. After the morning phase, the second leg of the ceremony is expected to begin at noon with the signing of the national anthem in the Lok Sabha chamber in the presence of all the dignitaries, including the Prime Minister. In today's ceremony, the Sengol was placed right next to the Speaker's seat in the Lok Sabha, or the lower house. It was installed after conducting traditional rituals of puja and Havan, which are Indian customs of marking the beginning of a holy ceremony, wishing a smooth and successful future. The ceremony was attended and conducted by priests of multiple faiths. The Sengol signifies good governance and fair rule. Well, the new parliament building has already been inaugurated, like I mentioned there. It is a new phase for India, moving from the old to the new, and I will just give you the features that will be included or have been included in this new building setup. The new building will have a build-up area of about 65,000 square meters. It's triangular in shape, which ensures optimum space utilization. It has, or it is considered, an energy-efficient parliament with a platinum-rated green building. It has a sophisticated audio-visual system. It has a central lounge. The new parliament building will reflect the vibrance and diversity of modern India, incorporating India's culture and regional arts and crafts. It has an ultra-modern office space, and it is considered earthquake-resistant. Our principal diplomatic correspondent, Sithan Sibol, has been following up on this new parliament building, and he joins us live from New Delhi. Sithan Sibol, good to see you. What's the latest at this hour?
Well, Eric, the first part of the inauguration ceremony we have seen is over. We saw the rituals by which the parliament was inaugurated. We saw the Sarv Dharm, which is basically the religious leaders from all the main religions here in India, obviously praying as well. But this was an inauguration which saw a lot of rituals with focus on the Sengol being placed. Now the second aspect of the inauguration will see addresses, including by the Indian Prime Minister. We will see who's who of the Indian political class, essentially, and of course here in Delhi attending, though the opposition is boycotting. We also know several ambassadors are also joining the inauguration ceremony. I've spoke to a few of the ambassadors who have confirmed to me that they are right now on way to the new parliament complex and will be witnessing and would like to be part of history. Today, of course, as we have been talking about, is a momentous day for India, and of course with the inauguration of the new parliament, the focus of course will be governance of this very vast country and the most populated country. So essentially parliament, we all know, plays an important role in governance by the MPs playing an important role in terms of passage of laws. That's the basic purpose and the function of the parliament. And the reason to have this new parliament building is the old parliament building. The building was seen dilapidated. It was built in a time when India was colonized by the British, and at that time India was not seen as a major world power. But today things have changed drastically. Tables have turned, especially for the UK, and India plays an important role in global debates. India plays an important role in global governance architecture. architecture, and whatever happens inside this parliament building for next 50 or 100 years will be deciding not only the future of India but also the world as well. As India takes key decisions, ratifies key laws, including of course in future key international laws as well, and how India of course will be shaping the debates from climate change to of course UNSC reforms. But essentially next few hours will be important as the Indian Prime Minister also addresses addresses from the Parliament to India and of course Indians as well, something that everyone is keenly awaiting. In fact, every word he will be addressing will be closely watched, and everyone is going to cling to every word, including the who's who will be present inside the Parliament at that time when the Indian Prime Minister addresses India and of course addresses from the new Parliament.
All right, that is our principal diplomatic correspondent, Sidhan Sibol, who has been following up on the new Parliament building, which has been already inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi. And we are now being joined by Harish Pijur, who is a brand strategist who is joining us from Bengaluru. Harish, welcome to WION World is One.
Thank you, Eric.
Tell us about the symbolisms that we saw today. We saw the placing of the scepter or the Sengol. We also saw the traditional prayers and also the multi-faith prayers. The significance of that.
Well, Eric, firstly, this is a very, very bright Sunday morning in India and a very important Sunday morning because the new Parliament House is going to be inaugurated. Now, if you look at the entire building as such, I think we're really talking about a triangular offering. And I think, it's not only about saving space, but I mean, it's establishing a connect with the entire world out from here. And if you look at the symbolism, I think, in India, we do believe in tradition, a deep tradition, and there are a lot of traditional stories which have been passed on to us. And I think it is something that is continuance of it. It is something that says that, hey guys, this is important. The Sengol, I think, there are different sets of narrations. One which says that it does represent transference of power, and another which represents traditional myths, which actually many of us believe in. So I think all said and done, a scepter, a very Indian scepter with a Nandi bull right on top of it, I think a great thing to establish. And buildings are really not about brick and mortar anymore. Right. Buildings are about stories, and buildings are about what kind of a tradition you can imbue into them. And I think these ceremonies imbue each of these Indian traditions into this great Parliament House building, which is being set up. I would say if there is a Pentagon out there in the United States, possibly out here there is a triangle. Okay, I'm just being naughty.
Well, that is fine to say. Harish, let me ask you this. Let's talk about the transition from the old to the new. Many people are seeing this as a new look India. What do you say?
Yes, India is so different today. All of a sudden we are realizing the sun rises in the east. And, every institution, every establishment that's being put into place today in terms of the new infrastructure of modern India is all about re-establishing this fact to say that, hey, listen, guys, we are where the race is, if not ahead of the curve. And I think, that's a very important statement to make because when you look at, infrastructure, you want to look at India as putting together the most modern infrastructure. When you look at even, historical new locations being put together in India, a huge statue somewhere, a huge bridge somewhere, and maybe some of the infrastructure pieces like a very long corridor, which actually cuts running time between one city and another by half. These are statements being made that India has arrived, and also a more important statement that India is arriving with its infrastructure. The Parliament House, the new Parliament House, is definitely a piece of new infrastructure for the oldest democracy of them all. And I think today is a precious day for all of us in India.
Harish, will it take some more time for members of parliament to adjust and also embrace this new parliament building, moving away from the current parliament building?
Well, there are two types of members of parliaments for sure. The one who believes in being in total connect with history and the way history was. And then there are a new set of people who are going to say that, hey, we are making history now. And I think, there will be a little bit of issues of adjustment. But, there are certain infra issues which will endear this building, this complex to the new members of parliament. For instance, the seating is in twos, not in more than twos. So no single member of parliament will need to cross across any other member if he, she, or they want to leave the room. Aisle seating seems to be the norm out here. And I think, the entire color coding, both the upper house, the lower house, we are a bicameral parliament building. I don't know what we're going to be calling it, but it's a bicameral house. All these features are going to definitely endear itself to the new members of parliament. I don't think anybody is going to worry about too much about not embracing this building. That's going to happen.
All right, I've been talking to brand strategist. His name is Harish Bijur. Harish, thank you very much for talking to WION World as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, the new parliament building has already been inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has placed the most significant symbol, which is called the Sengol, excuse me for that. It is a scepter which indicates the transition from the British rule to the new India. It has been placed besides the chair of the Speaker of the new Parliament building. There are rituals that have already taken place in the new Parliament building. That's the first phase of the inauguration ceremony. We'll go to the second phase, which will include speeches from the Prime Minister and also some members of the House. And also we do expect speeches to be read out from the Vice President of the country. And also we'll go to the third phase, which will be the initial official opening of the new Parliament building.